All right. Leave like that. Okay. All right. So I'm going to share my screen. Share. Okay. And okay. Now you can see my screen. Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm excited that you're ready and you're here today. My name is Kayla, founder of Create to Celebrate Studios, where every creation becomes a celebration. Today's class is called How to Build Your AI Content Department. And if you've ever sat down to post on social media and thought, what do I post today? You're in the right place. Maybe you've got hundreds of photos on your phone. Maybe you've created an amazing product. Maybe you know your business has potential. But when it's time to create content, your mind goes completely blank. Trust me, you're not alone. The truth is, most creators don't struggle because they're not creative. They struggle because they don't have a system. Today I'm going to show you a simple framework that has helped me stop guessing what to post and create and start creating content with confidence. This isn't about becoming an influencer. This isn't about dancing on TikTok. It's that's not if that's not your thing. It's about building a simple content system that actually works for your business. Before we jump in, tell me one word that describes how you currently feel about content creation. Is it overwhelming? Is it confusing? Is it stressful? Maybe even exciting? I'd love to hear. Also, make sure you stay until the very end because I have a special next step that will help you take everything you cover today and actually implement it in your business. All right. Okay. Now that we know we're all facing the same challenge, let's talk about why so many talented creators struggle with content in the first place. Let's be honest for a second. How many of these sound familiar? Maybe you've never known what to post. You wait until the last minute. You spend hours trying to create one post. Life gets busy, so you skip posting altogether. When Monday rolls around and you feel like you've started all over again, if any of that sounds familiar, I want you to know something. You are not the problem. And you know And I know that because I used to be that person. One thing I openly share is that I have ADHD. People assume that because I'm creative, creating content must come naturally to me. The truth is, it doesn't. My brain is constantly filled with ideas. I love learning new skills. I love designing. I love creating. But when it comes down to actually turn those ideas into content, I would freeze. I'd watch the training I would watch it again. I would pause it and take notes. Then I would rewrite my notes. Then I would read those notes out loud. And then I still couldn't picture it in my head. I would watch the entire training again. That's just how my brain learns. I need to see it. I need to visual. I need visuals. I need a clear process. I need to understand how all the pieces fit together before I can confidently move forward. Then one day I realized something. I didn't have an idea problem. I had a system problem. Every time I sat down to create content, I was starting from zero. There was no roadmap, no checklist, no process, just a blank screen asking, what are you going to do to post today? So I started doing what I naturally do. I began transforming everything I've learned into visual systems, color coded planners, worksheets, roadmaps, checklists, frameworks. Because once I see it, I could do it. And then once I could do it, I could teach it. That's exactly why I created the AI content department. Not because I have everything figured out, but because I needed a system that worked from the way that my brain thinks. And here's what I discovered: whether you have ADHD or most creators struggle for the exact same reason, it's not because you aren't creative, it's because there's they're trying to create content without a system. And that's what we're going to fix today. Now that we've talked about the system, let's look at what's really causing the problem. Because once we understand the root cause, everything starts to make sense. Now let me show you what finally changed everything for me. For the longest time I thought I needed more motivation. I thought I needed more discipline. I thought I needed more hours in the day. I even thought I just needed to get better at social media. But now but none of those things were actually the problem. The real problem was that I didn't have a system. Take a look at the left side of the screen. Does this cycle look familiar? You get an idea, you create something, you finally post it, then you immediately start wondering, okay, what do I post next? So you panic. You tell yourself you figure it out later. Life gets busy. Then before you know it, you you're right back where you started, creating content from scratch all over again. That isn't a content strategy, that's survival mode. And I know exactly what that feels like. For me, it wasn't just creating content that was exhausting. It was making all of the decisions thinking about it. Every single time I would sit down to create content, my brain would start asking questions. What should I post? Which product should I feature? What should I say? What picture should I use? What platform should I post on? What time should I post? Should it be a reel? Should I make it a carousel? Should I make it a story? By the time you've answered all those questions, you're mentally exhausted and you haven't even created the post yet. That's why I that's why so many creators feel overwhelmed. It's not because they aren't creative, it's because they're making every decision from scratch. Now look at the right side of the screen. Notice something. The successful creators aren't necessarily more talented. They're simply reducing the number of decisions they have to make every day. They already have a plan. They already know what they're creating. They already know what they're posting. They already know what's coming next. They they're not reacting every morning. They're following a system they built ahead of time. That's what everything that's when everything clicked for me. I didn't need more creativity. I needed fewer decisions because fewer decisions creates less overwhelm for me. Less overwhelm creates more consistency, and more consistencies builds confidence. You don't need more time. You need a better system. The framework that I'm about to show you was designed to eliminate as many of those daily decisions as possible. Once your system is in place, you stop wondering what you do next. And here's the best part: once your system is built, AI becomes your assistant, not your starting point. Instead of asking AI to build your business, you know exactly what to ask AI because businesses already have a plan. That's exactly what's going on what's going to start building together. So the goal isn't to work harder, so if the goal isn't to work harder and it isn't to rely on AI to figure everything out, what does a great content system actually look like? Let me introduce you to the simple framework completely completely changed the way I created content. The Content CEO framework. Go this way. There we go. All right. Now, now we know the real problem isn't you and it isn't your creativity. It's time to build the solution. This is the exact framework I created to stop making content from scratch every day. I call it the Content CEO framework. Think of this as building your own content department. When a large company creates content, they don't wake up every morning asking, what should we post today? They have a system. And that's exactly what we're going to build for your business. Let's walk through each piece. Business foundation. Everything starts here. Before you create one piece of content, you need to know your business. You do know who you serve, what problem do you solve, what transformation do you provide, because you don't know your foundation. Because if you don't know your foundation, your content won't have direction. Your content should support your business, not distract from it. Step two, content blueprint. Once your foundation is clear, now we create your blueprint. This answers questions like, what should I talk about? Why does it matter to my audience? How do I stay consistent without constantly coming up with new ideas? This is where we eliminate a huge amount of decision making. Instead of wondering what to post, we already know the topics your business should be taking should be talking about. Step 3, content system. Now we build the machine. This is where everything starts working together. You create once, you organize it, you schedule it, you publish it consistently. Instead of creating content every single day, you're creating with intention. The goal isn't to work harder. The goal is to build a system that keeps working for you. Step 4, AI assistant. Now, and now, and only now do you bring in AI. Notice that AI isn't step 1, it's step 4. That's intentional because AI should never replace your thinking. It should support your system. Once you've built your business foundation, creating your blueprint, and organizing your content system, AI becomes an incredible assistant. It isn't it helps you write faster, brainstorm faster, repurpose content, save time. But here's the difference. You're no longer asking AI, what should my business do? You're asking AI to help execute the plan you've already built. That's how you stay authentic. That's how your content sounds like you. That's how AI actually saves you time instead of creating more confusion. This entire framework is designed for one purpose, to reduce decisions. Because when you reduce decisions, you reduce overwhelm. When you reduce overwhelm, you become more consistent. And consistency is what grows your business. So now that we know the four pieces of the framework, let's work let's work at one of the most powerful parts of it, your content pillars. Because once you understand these, you'll never have to wonder what to post again. Now, let me show you one of the biggest decision producers inside the entire framework, your content pillars. This simple concept completely changed the way I create content. Look at the left side of the screen. This is how most creators post. One day, you're talking about the product. The next day, you're posting a motivational quote. Then you're trying to sell something. Then you disappear for a week. Then they come back wondering, what should I post today? Everything feels random. There's no plan, no focus, no direction. And honestly, that's exactly how I used to create content. Every morning felt like starting over. Every post felt like another decision I had to make. I remember what we talked about. Too many decisions create overwhelm. Now look at the right side. Instead of trying to think of hundreds of different ideas, I only think of four categories. That's it. Everything I create into one of those four content pillars. Education, this is where I teach, I answer questions, solve problems, share tips, I help people learn something valuable. Inspiration, this is where I encourage people, I share my story, I celebrate wins, show what's possible, build confidence. Sales, this is where I invite people to talk to take the next steps, whether that's product, a course, a workshop, or a service. If we ever tell people, okay, if we never tell people how we can help them, we can't expect them to buy. Selling isn't something to feel guilty about. It's serving with an intention. Community. This is where relationships grow. I ask questions, I start conversations, I celebrate my students, I share behind the scenes because people don't just buy products. They buy from people they trust. Now there's now there's now there's the part that completely changed the game for me. I don't wake up wondering what should I post. I simply ask, which pillar am I creating from today? See the difference? One question creates overwhelm, the other creates clarity. Instead of having thousands of possibilities, I have four. And once I have my pillars, everything becomes easier. My ideas become clear, my captions become easier to write, and yes, that's where AI becomes incredibly helpful because once I know my pillars, I ask AI much better questions. Instead of saying, give me content ideas, I can say, give me 5 educational post ideas for party creators. Or help me write an inspirational post for overwhelmed beginners. See the difference? The system tells AI what to do. not the other way around. That's why content pillars are so powerful. They don't just organize your content, they reduce the number of decisions you have to make every single day. So now that you understand the content pillar, what content pillars are, let's create the first one together. By the end of the next few minutes, we'll have started building your own content system. All right. We've talked about why content feels overwhelming. We've talked about the importance of having a system. Now I want to help now I want to help you take your very first step, because I believe the fastest way to build confidence is to take action. So let's build your first 3 content pillars together. Don't think about this. Don't overthink this. Remember, we're reducing decisions, not creating more for them. Here's here's what I want you to do. Think about your business for just a moment. What are the 3 topics you could happily talk about over and over and over again? Not because you're forcing yourself, but because they're naturally part of what you do. For example, if you're a party favor, one of your pillars might be party planning tips, maybe DIY tutorials, behind the scenes. Those are topics alone could give you months of content. If you're a baker, your pillar might be cake decorating, baking tips, and customer celebrations. If you're a boutique owner, maybe your pillars are fashion styles, new arrivals, and notice something? Your pillars don't have to be complicated. They just have to make sense for your business. So I want you to write down 3 ideas. Don't worry about getting them perfect. Just start. I'll give you a minute. Remember this. As you're writing, remember this. Your content pillars are like the rooms in your house. Every post has a place to belong. Instead of asking, what should I post today? You'll simply ask, which room does today's post belong in? What's That's a much easier question to answer. And that's exactly what we're trying to do. Reduce decisions. Once we've written the 3 pillars, we're gonna you're you've already started building your content department. Now imagine what happens when you use those similar pillars week after week. Let's look at the difference between creating content without the system and creating content with one. Now I want you to imagine something. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, opening your laptop, and not asking yourself, what should I post today? Imagine already knowing. Imagine opening your content calendar, seeing today's plan, creating your content, and moving on with your day. That's the power of having a system. Take a look at the left side of the screen. This was me. I was constantly stressed. I had ideas, but I didn't know which one to work on first. I spent more time deciding what to create than actually creating it. I started strong, then life got busy, and I disappeared from social media for days or weeks. Not because I didn't care, but because I was overwhelmed. I'm, and overwhelm creates inconsistency. Now look at the right side. This is what changed. This is what changed once I built the content department. Instead of stress, I was I had clarity. Instead of guessing, I was confident. Instead of inconsistency, I had a repeatable system. Instead of spending hours trying to figure out what to create, I would spend my time actually creating. That's the real goal. You're not trying to make a busy you're we're not trying to make you busier. We're trying to give you your time back. And here's something I want you to remember. A system doesn't always Your system doesn't take away your creativity. It protects it. Because when your brain isn't busy making hundreds of little decisions every day, it was it has more energy for things that actually matter. Creating, serving, growing your business, connecting with your customers. That's why I love systems so much. They don't replace creativity, they create space for creativity. And once the system once your system is in place, that's when AI becomes so powerful. Excuse me. Because AI isn't helpful because AI isn't helping you figure out what your business is anymore. It's helping you elevate the plan you've already created. That's the difference. You're still the CEO. AI is simply your assistant. And when those two work together, you create better content with less stress and a whole lot more confidence. So today, you've seen what's possible. You've seen how a simple system can completely change the way you create content. Now, the question is, what's the next step? Today, we've covered a lot. Let's think about what we've accomplished. You've discovered why creating content has felt so overwhelming. You realized the problem wasn't your creativity, it was the lack of the system. You've learned your content CEO framework. You identified your first content pillar. And you took your very first step towards building your own content department. Give yourselves a round of applause for that because today you didn't have to learn anything, but today you took action. Now the question becomes, what's your next steps? I created two different paths because I know everyone is in a different place in their journey. Option one, if you're thinking, Kayla, I need a little bit more time, or I just want to keep learning, I'd love to invite you into my Facebook community. It's called C2C Celebration Society. Inside, you will find encouragement, ideas, support, and other creators who are building right along with you. It's completely free, and I'd love to have you there. Option two is build your AI content department. But if today made something click for you and you're tired of guessing what to post and you're ready to stop starting over every Monday, if you're ready to build a complete content system that works with your brain instead of against it, then I'd love to invite you into my full course, How to Build Your AI Content Department. Inside, we don't stop with three content pillars. We build your complete content department. We'll build your business foundation, your content blueprint, your content system, your AI assistant, your planning process, your workflows, and everything you need to start creating content from scratch. Remember, what we've talked about today, AI isn't the starting point, your system is. And inside the course, I'll walk beside you as we build your system together, step by step. Because my goal isn't for you to create more content. My goal for you is to create content with confidence. So, whichever path you choose today, keep moving forward, keep building, keep creating. because your business deserves a system that isn't just an amazing at it. Because your business does not deserve a system that's just an amazing that's just as amazing as the products and services you create. I truly believe that once you can see the system, you can build the system. And once you've built the system, you'll never have to wonder what to post the same way again. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I can't wait to celebrate with you. And I'm sticking here for if anyone has questions. Thank you so much. God bless.